Hey people, it's me again. So anyways, I didn't even realize I could also upload videos on Reddit at this point, and pertaining to my own subreddit. Yeah. So anyways, my name is Scott. I'm 42 years old. I live in South Orange County in California. I'm gay, and I'm on the spectrum. And it's just one of those things I have to deal with in that sense of people not really quite understanding the two things of me, you know, as far as that goes. You know, things I do for love, you know, but I'm not really going to go into it, you know, too much. But all I'm just going to say is that when it came to the stuff I was talking about on YouTube, it was just mainly the two gays, because that was like the closest that I can really ever reveal to people, like, who they are without actually having to reveal their names at that point, because I don't really like having to reveal people's names, and, you know, because I consider that to be a form of doxing in that sense, you know, unless if it's just being kind of non-specific about things. Yeah. But all I can tell you guys at this point, if you really want to look into who these people are, you know, as far as that goes, that one of them is from Finland, and the context clue is Annie, Use Your Telescope by Jax Mannequin. And the whole thing here is that Annie kind of sounds like his name, and Jax Mannequin is a nickname for John, and his name means John in Finnish, as far as that goes. Yeah. But then the other J, that his name is also a bit of a biblical name as well, you know. But if you have the whole story about the Golden Fleece and the Northern Cross, you know, as far as that goes, then if you haven't enough insight to know, like, the context clues here, because I don't really like having to reveal people's names at any point, you know. But to tell the truth about all this, is that these two guys, I would like to be more than just friends with them when they're emotionally ready, but it's just not now, at this point, and I'm okay with it. And the fact is, I realized that this entire time that maybe I'm not exactly emotionally ready for a relationship either, you know, in the more serious sense. But I think as far as when it comes to hooking up and all, or just, you know, friends with benefits, that's probably the thing. And I just hoping at that point, you know, once they're done dealing with what they've been dealing with, is that I get to have that whole friendship benefits with both of them at that point, or either one of them. But it kind of doesn't really even matter, because, you know, I have plenty of options at this point, plenty of time to figure certain people out and all. And the truth is that I'm not going to fret too much about it, because after all, when I do that, I start to send out all this negative vibes and all, and I've been doing it too much lately, you know, and now it's only positive vibes for me. You know, I'm ready to take a bit of a nap here. So anyways, talk to you guys later. Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, I'm just doing my morning walk as far as that goes. It's now like 7 o'clock, maybe 7:30, give or take, or whatever. Yeah. So, if any of you guys have probably had watched the last video on my main YouTube channel as far as that goes, that I'm kind of shifting focus on my backup channel because I haven't really been able to use my backup channel that often really. Yeah. As far as that goes. So, this is just simply because I kind of wanted to vlog out and on a more, personal level, I suppose. You know what I mean? Just to go back to basics sort of thing. I'm still gonna have like the intros and that sort of stuff. Yeah. But it's just still gonna be like, not as well prepared or polished as it is as some other people do. Yeah. So, anyways, like tomorrow is when I'm gonna get those crowns put in, and not only that, just a complete overhaul of things, the cleaning, all this other stuff there in the same time. Because not only having like 2 crowns put in, but all these other crowns that are going to be replaced, tomorrow. Yeah. So I'm not going to really be in a somewhat good mood after that, because then I'm going to be spending like the rest of the week recovering from all of that, and that's kind of like the reasoning why I'm kind of like taking a break from Facebook and Instagram and TikTok for that matter. But then I don't even know if I even still want my TikTok for that matter, as far as that goes. Because in a way, like, my biggest complaint about like TikTok is how it's just a toxic cesspool lately. And that was kind of like the whole reasoning why people want to ban TikTok and all of this, because people just get too obsessed with it, and especially how it is with the young people there. They don't really have that self-control, and their whole view on reality is so warped. It's just surprising, how so many young people can have that view of reality being so warped these days, and it's just wondering what was the whole point of it. And not that I should be ragging on Gen Z a whole lot, but that is just the thing here. I think as far as with the other stuff going on with me, you know, because right when I get to that point where I say that, you know, maybe I don't need a boyfriend to be happy, or maybe I don't need to hook up to be happy, you know, or right when I get to that point where I feel confident enough, you know, and content enough that, hey, maybe I don't really need to do all this sort of shit anymore, you know, and then boom, the guys that I was pursuing and all that or whatnot, they come right back when I'm at that point where maybe I just don't really need them, you know, but I do want them, but I don't really need them, to tell the truth, because I can pretty much get any guy out here, you know, because if I ever really like took the time to assess like what their personality is, type or communication style, even ones that don't necessarily gel that well, there's a way that I can, not that I should, but I'm at that point where it kind of doesn't really even matter that much about what it is I wanted to do here. No, at least to most people. But to me, it actually does matter about all that. And that maybe I don't really care if it doesn't matter to most people. But only the people that don't or do matter, to tell the truth. But that is just one of those little things here. You know what I mean? So, anyways, talk to you guys later. Hey people, it's me again. So, anyways, this is probably going to be like one of the first videos that I'm probably going to upload on my Ryukage 99 channel, as far as that goes. And so, I haven't really talked about that sort of thing in a long time, you know, because of like what happened, you know, towards the end of last year at that point, you know, because of, you know, people had never really thought that was going to happen, you know, just over a year ago that Roe v. Wade was overturned and all, and that was just simply because of, you know, the conservatives' wet dream to kind of do that, and they thought that, you know, by doing so they'll have more of an advantage when it came to the midterms last year, but it didn't work out for them at that point, and especially how what happened there where Clarence Thomas had said that he also wanted to overturn Obergefell v. Hodges or the Lawrence v. Texas case, or even Romer v. Evans at that point, because, you know, because he wanted to, not because it was feasible to do, not because it was moral to go around and take away someone's rights just because you disagree with their lifestyle, at least what they usually say at that point, you know. But the problem was with all that, he just didn't even realize that he's still, his side still lost, and if they kept doing that sort of stuff, they'll be reviled for all history in that point. You know, wanting to take away certain people's rights just because you disagree with the fact that I can love a guy, not a girl. You know, as far as that goes. Yeah. But none of those people ever really have a good reason other than just simply because they think it's so icky, or because that little archaic book that's called the Bible or the Quran or whatever it is says it's wrong, because somehow they couldn't really understand certain things and how certain people are different. Because these same people like that are that, would also say that I'm being controlled by demons just because I'm on the autism spectrum. Yeah? And, of course, I said that like typical funny response, because, they're the ones that are actually controlled by demons in some ways. Yeah? Did you ever really thought about that? Because sometimes the demons do kind of control these type of people that are so pious. They end up losing all that compassion and what is real in that sense. Because that's pretty much what I would say. I wasn't really like, being hyperbolic about it, but that's really how I believe. If I was a Christian in that sort, that I would believe these sort of people are the ones that are really controlled by demons of that sort and being possessed, not me. Because there's a whole reason why people had lost faith in Christianity, because of people like that. And they say it was demonic influences. Hello, you're the one that's being influenced by that. So with all that sort of thing aside, I think when I first started really getting involved, like, in that sort of stuff on YouTube, at that point was around 2008. And then as far as that goes, it was just a weird timing on that sense. That the state Supreme Court had granted marriage equality, and then we were hoping that there wasn't going to be some sort of proposition that got on the ballot and take it away. And then at that time, where everybody was worried about it, but I was already said that, so what, because it was going to get overturned in court somehow, and it did. It got overturned in federal court, and it got overturned in the Supreme Court. And by then, the majority of people now supported marriage equality. Because part of it was just simply, of all the people who were so adamant against marriage equality at that point were just look really foolish. That guy George Rikers, how was so adamant against it and so much there, but yet here he was caught, with with a younger guy at that point, paid him to lift his bags or something like that. Well, the only thing, it wasn't really the only thing he was lifting. On the whole thing with Larry Craig and all these other guys who were like that. Even Roy Khan. Of all people, Roy Khan was like the first one who was like outed that way. Of that sort. You know what I mean? That was just one of the things I have to kind of point out here. So, anyways, considering all that, there was that whole Respect for Marriage Act that passed in a way where it basically kind of closed the whole issue with marriage equality anyways. That even if Obergefell-Hodges gets overturned, which is not really likely at any point, because I think that when it came to those people doing that, for trying to, overturn a Supreme Court decision for political gain, know that they probably can't do that ever again at that point, because I have a feeling, at this point that, that the Hodges decision will probably get overturned at some point once Thomas dies, or the Supreme Court shifts back to a more reasonable thing. But it's one of the things I said before there, that back in 2015, that this sort of thing would have never happened, if the Democrats didn't change the Senate rules as far as when it comes to the appointments to the Supreme Court. Because they did that simply because of how the Republicans had blocked Merrick Garland back in 2015. And then if they had seen this sort of thing coming like 8 years from now, that Roe v. Wade was overturned and all of this other stuff, then they should have just never done that in the first place. But the problem is that they decided to play politics there, and then they fell into the Republicans' hands at that point. And a lot of times, I think the Democrats don't realize that the Republicans are smarter than they give them credit for. It's just like what happened when I gave them that scathing email, about what happened in the 2020 election and all of that. That what's going to happen when they're going to outdo you and the thing they parade around the most, which is being diverse in thought and all, but only when everybody's like opinions are aligned with each other. And that's just really hypocritical. So, anyways, guess that's it.